Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to another turkey pattern test video here. And we've got another pretty interesting one that I really don't exactly know what to expect from. And right off the bat, I do apologize if there's any background noise. We got airplanes and a really swirly, odd wind today that I'm having to work around. So we just are having to work with what we're given today. But as for today, what we're going to be out here testing are some more of the Browning 410 loads. These are a 3-inch, 1100 feet per second, 13/16 ounce of number 9s. And we will be able to test that 1100 feet per second claim because I do have the chronograph out here today. But as for what setup we're going to be running them in today, I've got the Mossberg 500 410 turkey out again. But if you can see in the end there, I've got that Winchester full choke in the gun. That is a 391 constriction. And we also have seen good results out of that Winchester full choke on the channel a few times actually. So we do know that that choke does surprise us sometimes with how it performs. But as far as the load goes, these Brownings have been a decent option. They're definitely not as good as either your custom stuff or your hand loads. And as far as off-the-shelf stuff, they have not been as good as the Herders loads have been. Those Herders loads are really overlooked, especially for being a budget option. But either way, these Brownings have been decent so far. Definitely better than the Federals. And so far, they've been a little bit better than what Remington has produced as well for the 410 TSS loads. But I really am curious to see, since these Brownings did better in that Carlson's 385 choke over the stock 380 choke that came with the gun, if they do actually like a little bit less constriction, which is where that 391 full choke comes in. But either way, I've got the turkey target set up over here. It's going to be 40 yards. I've also got the chronograph set up. So I'm going to take you guys down and get you a nice view of the target. We're going to take the shot. We're going to come back real quick, take a look and see what our velocity was across the chronograph. And then we'll go down and see how they did on the paper. So let's go over here and shoot them. Alright, those shells gave us 1199 feet per second on that shot. So that's 99 feet per second over what the box claimed. These things seem to be moving pretty quick. Alright y'all, so this is what we got out of that Winchester 391 full choke and the Browning 13/16 ounce TSS loads. And I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised at what that did. Now, yes, we are to the right, which is kind of odd because that gun typically is right on the money with whatever load and choke we put through it. So that definitely shows why I always try and say pattern your load and your choke in your gun that you plan on hunting with before you take it out in the woods. But he is still a dead turkey, even though we were off to the right by a pretty decent amount there. But as you can see, this might be the best Browning pattern we've gotten so far. It's not necessarily super hot in the core, but it's a beautifully even pattern, I gotta say. There really aren't a ton of voids in that pattern, and the one or two that you might see in there are not even close to big enough for a turkey to walk through. It's definitely not a super hot pattern, but I like how even that is, which is something that we have seen a couple times out of that Winchester full choke. Not necessarily the tightest patterns, but really even looking patterns. Now, yes, we do have a couple of these that you might call flyers around the edge of the paper here, but overall, that's not bad at all. I was not expecting that, to be honest with you. I was expecting it to be a lot more open and a little bit less even than what that gave us. But that's definitely a nice looking turkey pattern. It's not as hot as some of the other load and choke combinations, so if you like that little bit more leeway, that's a beautiful pattern for you right there. So it definitely looks like these Browning loads like that little bit more open constriction like that. But overall, I'm pretty pleasantly surprised with how that did. That's not bad at all. And this is our wad out of that shell right there. Now, right off the bat, it looks very similar to pretty much every other 410 turkey load that we've tested so far, at least the ones that are right off the store shelf. But we do not see any buffer material or shot pellets down in there this time, like we have before. So maybe these shoot just that little bit better with that little bit more open choke because they don't get squeezed into the wad quite as bad. But either way, it opened up really nice. There's no rips or tears or anything like that in it. Nothing special on the base here, but just a pretty decent looking wad performance today. Alright y'all, well, I'm pretty surprised at how those did. I did not really expect them to be that even looking. I know that choke has given us some nice even patterns before, but with the Browning loads, we haven't seen any super outstanding results. And even this is not a super hot pattern by any means, but it is a very even and nice consistent pattern, which is definitely not a bad thing to have at all, especially for somebody that likes to shoot their birds in a little bit closer or just likes having that little bit more leeway. But what do y'all think? Were you surprised seeing how this did? Leave me a comment and let me know what you had guessed this was going to do beforehand, because I definitely didn't expect quite that kind of performance. Is that a good hunting pattern in your opinion? Would you take that out in the woods? I wouldn't have any issues with it if that's what I had available to me. But let me know your thoughts about it, and did that surprise you or not? And with that being said, we've got some more wind coming in this afternoon, and it's already starting to become an issue. And I've still got another test or two that I would like to run, so I'm going to jump back to it before it gets too late. So I'll see y'all in the next one.